right, guys, let's connect here. I think we're good. We're there. All right, let's wait for this to connect up. Today, live stream, April 11th, 2021, coming at you, talking about the Walking Dead universe as a whole. Just wait for this to connect a little bit and get caught up in the chat. Yeah, whew, man, we made it here. It's one of those days. It's Sunday. Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 8 airs tonight on AMC. The Walking Dead Season 10 is done. It's kind of bad weather here in Florida, so I'm dealing with that. I'm kind of dealing with a couple issues outside of here, but, you know, it's all one of those days, and we're here to talk about The Walking Dead. Just talk about some things there. Got to put out that spoiler warning, and, you know, we're going to talk about Fear the Walking Dead and spoilers in general, because with early access, with early premiere dates, you know, AMC Plus, AMC Premiere, you know, a lot of people have seen the episode a week ago that airs today on AMC, and that kind of brings up the point of spoilers. So spoilers are good, they're bad. Some people hate them, some people love them, some people get spoiled, and it ruins the episodes for them and everything. And, you know, we've been talking about spoilers since season 6 of The Walking Dead, so it's been around for a long time. And I've had stuff spoiled for me on different shows, and, you know, putting stuff in thumbnails or posting stuff on, you know, Facebook and social media. It happens, and I try to avoid that whatsoever, and, you know, don't put stuff in the titles and the video, and you know, I have a spoiler warning for it. And, you know, last night I was actually watching Wrestlemania, so the first day of it, because it's here in Florida, and, you know, I go and check up online, and I see people talking about spoilers, and then I got some different information, or I got different, you know, messages and stuff, and the trolls and everything as well. But people are complaining about spoilers, not just for me, for all around in a lot of different Facebook pages. And it has to do with the early premiere of the episode, which last week we watched the episode and we talked about it. I talked about the big thing that happened in it, and it kind of ruined it for a lot of people. So that's kind of going to be what it is for premieres, because I think the Walking Dead universe is going to be a week earlier on AMC Plus. So that's a whole week earlier for people who don't get to watch the episode. They watch it a week early. Some people aren't going to watch it tonight. They'll watch it tomorrow. And, you know, I don't put stuff out in pictures and stuff that people spoil it that way. There's always a spoiler warning, but people still complain about the spoilers there. And it's like, I don't post anything where it just gives it away. You have to actively go into the video, watch the video, or evidently somebody was going into the video, watching it, and reading the comments, and there were spoiler comments in it. And so it's like, well, what can you do? You know, it's not on me, it's on the person. And the other thing, my guy Mike Allen says, last live stream for a while, I'm deploying Friday. So I don't know how to say congratulations. Good, bad, Mike? Is that good? Are you excited? Are you nervous? Are you dreading going there too? But safe, and I'm just glad to have you here this Sunday, and, you know, it's a big thing for it. And, you know, like this, for the people who know, probably everybody that's in the live stream right now, this is a community, a fandom, a family, a Walking Dead universe that binds us. But also I care about you guys, right? And I think that's part of the problem on YouTube is, like, I talk with people and I comment, I reply to comments. So it's like people like that I reply, and then people get mad that I replied with a comment that they didn't like, or they can't tell the tone or whatever. So it's like, you can't win. You can't, you're damned if you're damned if you don't. You're just damned on Facebook and YouTube. And then there's people on here, the trolls are like, you should give up on it. You shouldn't do this. You should take a break. You shouldn't do this. It isn't for you. Well, it's also not for you if you're coming here to comment and just complain about that. But that's what trolls do. They love to have their anonymity for it. So we talk about that, and, you know, but at the end of the day, like, Mike is being deployed. He says, in 20 years, I'm used to it. So he's been doing it for a while. And that's awesome. That's real life. You know, that's a real life thing with a real person going somewhere. It's not some fictional universe of different characters and different stuff. And people, like, take it in stride. They take it in this. They take it there. They take it at heart for like it matters. Like, the Walking Dead universe actually matters in life. It doesn't. It's a fictional place. It's a fictional universe, and it's an escape. It's a thing that binds people together. But when people have stuff really going on in their lives, like their health and their wealth and their house and their car and their pets and their family and their loved ones and stuff like that, it's a real deal. And I try to be there for that. Being real is a good thing, and a detriment to it. But ultimately, I'm just being real for what it is. And real people like that. Some people are here to troll and you can't ever win. And that's all right. But last Sunday, I was here. So, see, like this guy right here. Let's talk about Jeff Carrington. I think you need to take responsibility. I got spoiled too because you couldn't be bothered to put spoiler in the thumbnail. So what did I give away, Jeff? I'm going to let you reply. If you'll see, you're probably just trolling. But how are you spoiled in a thumbnail? There was no picture of anything that gave anything away. There was nothing in the title that gave anything away. There was just a picture of a character in the thumbnail. So if you go by that, you should stay off YouTube. You should take responsibility and be the person that you shouldn't be watching. You shouldn't be on here then. If you haven't watched the episode and you're not going to watch the episode till tonight or, Monday or whatever, take responsibility. It goes both ways. Let me see your reply, Jeff. Eddie G says, John, honestly haven't cried that hard since Herschel. It's definitely a sad thing when we lose characters on the shows that we love, right? And I was watching a movie. Tommy Griffin, what's up? And I was watching a movie that just came out with my wife. It's called Chaos Walking with Tom Holland and Rey. I'm blanking on her name, but Rey from Star Wars. And it's a different movie. It's a movie that's okay. It's a different take on something, and I like different things. And, it's not a thing that just happens all the time. So I don't want to give anything away, but I just lost my connection. So hopefully it comes back. I think we're back. So we could be going in and out because it is raining and storming around here. We got thunderstorms, and I know that it's been a lot of storms in the area. If you watched Wrestlemania last night, it's in Tampa. It's definitely something that is weather related around here too, so it could go in and out. It's just a bit bad storms right here for sure. So let me see. Firefly 60. I've been following you a long time. I know to stop when you say you're going to give up spoiler info, and I was actually spoiled about tonight's episode because another site posted a picture that popped up. So thank you, Fireflies 60. That's what it's all about, because that is a thing that I didn't post. I'm sorry that I was spoiled for. I don't want to be the guy who's like, oh, I spoil it for people who don't want to be spoiled. And I've learned my stuff over the lessons with Glenn and Abraham and all those stuff in season 6 and 7 and everything like that. And I hate when people are spoiled and stuff. When I watched Game of Thrones and someone watched the episode early, or it was leaked early and you saw a thing and it was a thing with the dragons and you're like, is a picture of a major thing that happened. And you're like, come on, man, But spoilers are a way that just happen nowadays, and people get bent out of shape, and they're all about things like, I'm going to report you, I'm going to do this, and they come around there too. But spoilers definitely ruin things for people who don't want to have them. The people that want spoilers, they want the spoilers, they do it, and that's okay. But spoilers are a thing that are a part of everything nowadays, because we share and we overshare and we share some more, and it's just the thing that we got to be around, and I don't know how to combat it. I just know what I can control with my posts and putting stuff there. So it's a shame what happens for it, but it just happens, and it's a way of things. But so we'll talk about Fear the Walking Dead season 6, episode 8 in the last half hour. But last week's episode, season 10, thank you for the 2 new members. Thank you, my triggers stuck. And Masked Ninja, thank you for becoming level 1 PT Peeps. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I truly do appreciate, everything for it. It's just being, supporting the channel is definitely necessary too. So, or we need support for it, and we greatly appreciate it. So too. John says, I didn't know you were a wrestling fan too. Saw Wrestlemania last night and can't wait for part 2. Yeah, I've watched more wrestling now because a lot of the wrestlers live in Florida, and I've met Hulk Hogan. I've been to his beach shop, and back in the day, I used to love Ultimate Warrior was my favorite wrestler. Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man. Macho Man used to live right around where I live until he died right around here too. So it's definitely something that I'm a part of, especially when it's here in Tampa. And watching it on Peacock is pretty awesome too. So I thought the first day was pretty good. First day back for it. And we got to see the Hall of Fame stuff there too. So pretty cool stuff. And, being here in Florida, I write stuff in the zombie apocalypse world. I write my own book series, Fight For Us, and I'm on book 14 now, which would be titled Revenge. I posted in my Fight For Us Facebook group the chapters too, but also the cover, the first preliminary cover for the book, if you want to check it out. And it's written in Tampa Bay, basically where it is. And, a lot of stuff's come around to the area. And I saw an article that was pretty cool that George Romero's son is thinking about and trying to open up a studio here in Tampa Bay somewhere to make movies and to make different things. And he has something going on in Kentucky right now. But I was like, wow, George Romero's son is definitely connected potentially with Tampa Bay. And if that definitely happens in there, I'll have to hopefully look into that to see if something can be done or something. And maybe it's a universe connection for it. Everything happens for a reason. So, stuff good, bad, and different. It's just kind of cool that the potential for that to happen could be right here with George Romero's son in Tampa Bay. Potentially. Nothing is confirmed yet, but I know they're thinking into it there. But so Fear the Walking Dead is tonight, but The Walking Dead season 10, it's a wrap. It's done. It's cool because it's done, right? So all the people that were like, these 6 extra episodes suck, but Here's Negan was great. I could kind of see like what they were saying. They weren't the best, but I was excited to see The Walking Dead back, right? And it was not the best episodes, but they were more intimate, deep dives, COVID episodes. And, after the first episode, I kind of saw like this is where it was. 2-3 characters for the episodes. It was definitely something that I definitely was excited to see, but I could understand where people were coming from. They weren't going to win anything over, even though Here's Negan right now is the 4th highest rated episode, I think, on IMDb. I know there's like Too Far Gone, No Way Out, Here's Negan, and I'm blanking on the 4th one, but Here's Negan is the 4th highest episode too. So I know that The Walking Dead is thinking about doing a Negan spin-off thing, and there's been reports about them trying to do this and gauge interest. But I think they should do it. But again, AMC, The Walking Dead, it's a business. They're trying to put out a business for you to watch these episodes, and I don't watch the episodes on AMC television. Watch it, in different ways, early access, and, just without commercials. But last time I watched the episode with commercials, there's a lot of commercials. They usually have like 20 minutes of commercials. So if an episode's like 40 some minutes, it's going to go over the 10 o'clock hour into the next hour too. So I haven't seen Talking Dead tonight. They're going to have John, June, Dakota, and somebody else is on there. I forget. There's 4 people, of course, with Chris Hardwick tonight. But I'm interested to see that, and I'll talk about that in the last half hour why I'm very interested in seeing that. But I know that The Walking Dead Season 11 is filming now. I don't know if they finished the 4th episode or if they're still wrapping that up, going on to the 5th episode. I know that the big thing is that the biggest thing news is about it is that Jeffrey Dean Morgan's son is going to be a walker on the show in the 5th episode, is what a lot of people are saying. And then you see the different articles, and it's funny because like when people accuse me of clickbait, that goes everywhere. So I'm just learning to not take as much offense to it, because it's like on every article on Facebook that I've seen, they're like, clickbait, why is it clickbait? What's up with the clickbait thing? And I saw an article that was saying like, Jeffrey Dean Morgan's son to star in The Walking Dead Season 11. You're like, he's a walker. He's not going to star in anything. He's probably going to be on the screen for like 5 seconds. So you're like, that's really not the best headline for that. It's misleading on there too. Speaking of clickbait, I made a video yesterday or 2 days ago or whatever that I will post on Monday. It is about Rick Grimes returns. It's going to say that. It's going to be a clickbait article or a clickbait thumbnail that people are going to accuse of clickbait. But it talks about Rick Grimes eventually returning. And it's talking about what's actually confirmed out there, because there's going to be a lot of speculation and rumors and everything there too. So it's definitely something that's there. Thank you. I appreciate that, Gage. Every week you seem to blank. It's not blah, blah, blah. I don't think I do it every week. I have not attacked other YouTubers. You're clearly a troll. But it's definitely, it's like that other guy didn't respond. You noticed that too, right? So So we'll just get rid of that person. So, but, you know, I don't think I F up at all. I think I really have there too. And you know what it is, right? I'm not going to drop any names yet, but I eventually think I have to. There's a channel that is definitely connected with trolls and connected with Instagram trolls and bots and everything on there too, because I've been getting more and more people that have like fake profiles and fake accounts, and they're usually connected with like European accounts. So I've seen more of a connection with that and trying to put two and two, a little more detective work. And I just definitely think it's definitely connected with that one channel. I don't know, but I don't think I F up every week. I think I post a lot of great stuff, and I'm trying to do more motivational things, inspirational stuff, just because I think that's what people need. I know I need it. And to be honest, I had a rough night last night, and this morning it's been tough, and I got to deal on the phone later after this. And I understand that people don't want, you know, real life and what's considered negative or anything on YouTube. But that's not real life in my life. Not everything is positive. I'm not fake positive with it, right? So I'm just trying to be real with it. And sometimes people accuse me of being this and being that, and all I do is focus on that. I don't really talk about other YouTubers that much if people act like I do. I just call it out when people send me stuff and give me there too. They give me something to talk about. You know, I don't go looking for it. It's just what it is. And I know there's going to be a lot of speculation and rumors, not just with the channels on YouTube, but on Facebook and different articles and different, you know, websites and different things. It's going to be everywhere where you're going to see. And I'm already trying to stay ahead of it. But then it's like, you're picking on these people. I haven't even said anything their names. So how am I picking on them? They don't even know who I'm picking on. So it's hilarious. But Eddie G says, I really enjoyed seeing their spin on Here's Negan and the moment that turned him numb to everything. Negan Smith died in that fire and reborn. That's true. That's exactly right, Eddie. So let's talk about Here's Negan a little bit. I'll talk about it for like, I don't know, 15 minutes, 10 minutes. So when he smacks the mailbox with his Lucille, he hits the mailbox and then boom, Negan Smith is gone. That's how I took it, right? And he's not going to be known as Negan Smith. He's just going to be known as Negan. And that's what we really known him as for a long time. And you're right. He was reborn into the new. It was like the phoenix rising out of the ashes and being Negan. He's going to be built for this zombie apocalypse world now after he had to do what he had to do there too. So, Mass Ninja says, have you seen the TWD Season 10 AMC Upfront trailer? I've seen a couple different trailers, but I've never seen anything on AMC's YouTube channel. I've seen it on different ones, and it's just clips of different stuff of previous seasons on there too. And it's just acting like it's a real Season 11 trailer. And I don't think it is. I don't really there, but it's just saying that it's a trailer, but it's not saying it's fan made. Is it connected with that? Or are they just highlighting all the different things where they're at? I don't think Morgan's going to come back to The Walking Dead. I don't think Rick's going to show up in Season 11. I don't think any of these I don't think we're going to get this happy ending. I'm sorry to use that word, but happy ending or phrase that everybody wants. Like, I don't think Rick's going to show up and save the day with it. It'd be great if it is. I could be wrong. And I admit when I'm wrong all the time, or I guess not enough. So ultimately, I just don't think it's going to be this great big thing for it, and them highlighting all the different things. Well, if it's the final season, usually final seasons of shows at least have some trailers or an episode or whatever. They have a thing where it's where you started, where you are now, where you start, beginning, middle, and end. The beginning of the show to where they are now is usually like the homage to it, the collage of things, just the clips, the highlight show. I'm just thinking about Seinfeld, the way it ended. It kind of did that on there too. And I do like it when they do it in a subtle way, instead of it being like, okay, this is exactly what happened and where they are and where they've been on there too. Because if you think about it, Rick left the show, Michonne left the show, Carl left the show, Morgan left the show. The only people that we've had from season 1 left on the show is Carol and Daryl, which the main Walking Dead show is going to end, but we're still going to have Walking Dead stuff, right? The Walking Dead stuff is going to be continued on with the universe of it. AMC is going to continue to milk that cash cow, and we're going to have The Walking Dead in 3 parts. Fear the Walking Dead season 7. The World Beyond will be done with season 2, so we'll just have we'll have The Walking Dead season 11, Fear the Walking Dead Season 7. I'm not sure when the Carol and Daryl show is going to be on television, if it's 2023. Hopefully the Rick movie next year. I don't know how they're going to do the Tales of the Walking Dead, if they've already started shooting it, filming it with past characters, new characters, animation. I had voiceover stuff. I'm just not sure exactly what they're going to have. But it's definitely fun to see where the World of the Walking Dead is going. And, I saw an article or a recent things that people posted a lot of places that The Walking Dead in its heyday was getting like 17, 18 million viewers. That is like unheard of, especially for like a cable show. Not HBO, not extra Showtime stuff, like that stuff you pay for. You have 17, 18 million viewers on a show on cable. That's a game changer. Now with Here's Negan, they didn't even have 3 million. But that's what I see as AMC Plus taken away from that. So if you're watching it on AMC Plus, you're probably not watching it on AMC the day on Sunday. So AMC is still getting that revenue. So again, I don't work for AMC. I'm not a stock shareholder in it. I don't have any game in that. I don't have any play in that. I'm just a fan. I just talk about it from my view. So I'm not worried about AMC's bottom line, which is budget, because it is money, budget, EBITDA, how much they have for each episode, commercial breaks, money coming back, merchandise, all that stuff too. So I just don't know I just hope the money issue doesn't really play a factor in that too much, because it is, and it does, but we'll have to see. Mark says, Q&A, Bri, do you think Negan will enter the Commonwealth or go do his own thing? Well, the way that we saw that at the end of the episode, Negan went back to Alexandria, gave that look to Maggie. They're staring eye to eye. So Negan's going to be at Alexandria for as long as they are. And I think he's going to stay there and he's going to live there. But when the Commonwealth comes from, let's just go with Ohio because of the comic, when they come back with Eugene, Princess, Yumiko, Ezekiel, or if Ezekiel stays there, I don't know, for cancer treatment. I don't know what they're going to do with that. I'm just not sure. They come back to Alexandria. Who goes from Alexandria to the Commonwealth? Negan could definitely be a person of that. Negan, I don't know if Daryl and Carol go. Maybe they go and they leave, because you can go there and leave. It's not like you have to stay there. This isn't like there's no way out, man. Once you go in, you just stay there. You just stay there for good. But I don't think Carol and Daryl are going to fit the mold for them, especially with the questions that, I want to say Lance or Mercer, when it hasn't been confirmed who was actually asking the questions, was, what did your family do? Or what did your parents do? What they're asking you, who were you before the zombie apocalypse? Who were your parents before the zombie apocalypse? And I'm not sure Daryl was the best person to be representing them there too. And maybe Aaron will stay there. Maybe Gracie will go with her, or go with him, obviously. Father Gabriel, Coco, Rosita, who stays back, who goes, right? I'm just not sure where they really go for it too. So Milky says, you should get yourself on Talking Dead as a super fan, Bri. That would be amazing. I would love to go on Talking Dead just to see what it's like. But right now it's like Zoom calls. And if you ever done a Zoom call with more than 2 people or 1-to-1, it's a lot like, yeah. Because if someone's talking, you don't want to talk over them, and vice versa. And the last Talking Dead was with Here's Negan, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and Hillary in the same panel, because they were living in the same house, obviously. Yvette Nicole Brown, and then the writer of the episode, I believe. And it was really good, but Yvette Nicole Brown would talk, and Negan would kind of talk, and they would talk over each other, and it was kind of awkward to kind of watch, and then, Chris Hardwick would be like, oh, no, well, he said this, and he would try to be that, and it was cool. I really like watching Talking Dead for that reason, but I kind of feel like it's, I don't know the words to say, kind of crappy that you have to watch Talking Dead to kind of get those things a little bit more out of it. And sometimes it's pretty big what actually happened in the episode, and you find out more in that episode because of Talking Dead, and you have to kind of find out more because if you're watching Talking Dead. And I know not everybody watches it, so I'm definitely going to be watching tonight's episode because it's some pretty big stuff. So we'll talk about that in the last half hour. But Eddie G says, thank you for the super chats, Eddie G. They are appreciated for sure. It helps out a lot. It's actually kind of making my day because it's, like I said, it was a crappy night last night and then a crappy morning, and it's just been kind of a bad day. And hopefully the rain's going to go away because WrestleMania Part 2, or the second part, I guess Part 2, is outside again at Raymond James, and it's been raining on and off here in Tampa. So, and we'll see how it goes tonight at 8 o'clock. Eddie G says, I actually worked at the Norfolk and Southern Railway. They're portrayed. It teeters on West Virginia-Ohio border. So perfect, right? So I would assume that halfway between Virginia, Alexandria, Virginia, or I guess Hilltop, and Ohio is like West Virginia, right? So that's where they kind of met at the railway. And I would assume they're going to Ohio, and then they'll come back and they'll kind of do that. And hopefully they open up the transit lines with the horse and buggy and maybe the train. That'd be pretty cool. So that's awesome, you know, and I like to see the realism of things, even though it's fictional. That's kind of why what brought me into this world was the realistic approach to it. And even though it's fiction, it's still cool too. John Wilder says, Q&A, do you think Judith will stand in front of Maggie to stop her and save Negan? I think it's going to play... A big factor is Judith, because Judith likes Negan and Negan likes Judith and Negan saved Judith. So Maggie has her own views on Negan, and I understand Maggie not liking Negan, and I understand that people like Negan because Negan saved the day and he's on the, you know, the redemption arc, and he's, you know, not the same guy we met, but Maggie doesn't care about that. She killed her husband. So, you know, killed her husband. So it's definitely something that I could see both sides, but I think Judith will play a factor in how it's portrayed, except if Negan saves, because I think the Reapers are going to come back around early on in season 11, and I think a lot of people think Negan is going to save Herschel or Maggie. It just makes sense to continue that redemption arc. Sky 2010 says, Brian at the PT channel, what's your opinion? Will Negan let Maggie kill him? Yes or no? I don't think so. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see Maggie kill Negan, because Negan is essential to the story. And I wouldn't like hate Maggie if she killed Negan. I would be like, I can't believe Maggie did that. I would totally understand. Some people wouldn't. They think that Maggie needs to get over it. Negan is way more important than Maggie ever could be. And that's not my view. That's what people say. It's okay. But I don't want to see that. I want to see Negan and Maggie kind of coexist. Negan save the day and actually, you know, help her out and actually be glad that Negan was still around too. Milton says, Bri, do you think Virginia will kill Dakota? I'll talk about that in the second half hour of this hour-long live stream. So I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know where that's going to go, but I hope so, right? But Mass Ninja says, have you had any tornadoes in Tampa? Not today, not recently, but yes. In Tampa Bay, we've had tornadoes. They rip through businesses and they go up. There's tornado warnings a lot when you get storms that happen like that, and it's definitely a thing. But I've never been involved around a tornado. I've been involved with hurricanes, which are far better because you have plenty more time to prepare for them. They're both terrible, but tornadoes can be, you know, boom, gone like that in an instant too. So let me see what you got. Mike says, my wife is from Sonoy. Norman Reedus actually introduced us. No way. Excuse me. That's pretty awesome, Mike. If that's true, I believe you. But I'm just joking. But that's pretty cool if that actually happened. Ashley says, Bri, what if Negan got Janine pregnant when cheating on Lucille? And when, if he goes to the Commonwealth, there's a pic of him on the board saying, have you seen my dad? Bing, bada, boom. That fits, Ashley. That's a good theory. I like that. I like that theory that we still get the have you seen my parent role, where it was Elodie for looking for Michonne. It could be somebody connected with Daryl, Negan, Connie, Kelly. I don't know, somebody, right? It's got to fit somehow, some way. It would be great if it's a connection with Rick. But again, I just don't know how they're going to connect Rick with the timelines, the time jumps, 6 years in the past, 3 movies. I just don't know how. And I want him to come back to the show. Don't get me wrong. I just being a realist with it too. So, but I like that. I like that theory. I want to know if you think Glenn would want civility with Negan. I don't know. Glenn is the kind of guy that would be the civil person to be like, but I don't know. Was he ever wronged like that though? I mean, with the governor, but then the governor got killed in Herschel. So I don't know. That's a good question. I just don't know what would Glenn do? You know, we should make those bracelets, right? Kawaii Cutie. Hi, Bri. I heard a theory that Grace is going to give birth in the episode JD, the baby being born. Do you think it is named after John Dory? Do you think that is why the name of the episode? I don't know. That's a good question. I think Grace is going to have the child in a couple episodes. So we'll see where that goes, but I could see that happening. One of Negan's wives. Q&A, what do you think about John Dory in the last episode? I'm going to talk about that in the last half hour, and we're getting there too. Let me just talk about these a couple things, then I'll jump to it. Sorry, guys, I'm jumping around. Eddie G, again, with the super chats. Thank you, guys. You're really making my day, Eddie. You have no idea. But I hope they don't pull a Terminator Dark Fate. Negan sacrifices himself for them and say for Glenn. He's like, dun, 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 dun. He's got the thumb going. I know it's Terminator 2, but that's what I picture, sacrificing himself. Negan goes in there, and he's like walkers all around him. I think Negan's going to live because Negan lives, right? That's a comic, too. So John Wilder says, Q&A, what are your predictions for WrestleMania, and do you think CM Punk will return? I hope CM Punk returns. He would be great for the ratings and for everything there. Somebody's got to show up big time. Nobody really showed up to spoil or to, was the big runner in. I thought the Bellows would do something the first day because they're there for the Hall of Fame. I could see that happening in the women's match today, but I think somebody's got to show up, and that would be pretty cool if it was CM Punk. Let me see what you got here. Any other questions before I get into it? Sorry, I just answered your question, John Water, about CM Punk. Sorry, what's the question? Laura says, are you still selling the magnets? Yes, I'm still selling them. I sold actually a couple fighters and a couple I'm Negans. I have to make some more, but I'll post another thing on Instagram or Facebook about the magnets. But definitely, Laura, I'm thinking about making more. I just have had the time with those, like writing the book series. I'm halfway done. Halfway done my first edit of Revenge. I'm on chapter 10. There's 18 chapters. And then hopefully my wife can start reading it this weekend because it's tax season, so it's crazy right now. So April 15th is coming up. So hopefully she can start reading that, and I'll have more time to start making more magnets and stuff there. But I'm thinking about different ones. If you're interested, Laura or Lindsay or anybody else too. So Risa says, do you do custom magnets? To an extent, if you like something they're usually like pretty thin. Hold on, I'm going to reach behind here for a second, but so the magnets are pretty thin. Sorry, this is great live stream with me reaching behind. But so like I have to actually put magnets on the back of these, but they're kind of thin. So whatever I can fit across them, that can make it longer. I can have a longer magnet, but I just kind of fit it for shipping. But I just made the I Heart Negans and then the fighter ones, guys, for that. But and then the I'm Negans, I sold my last one, so I have to make a couple more with that. So no, not maggots, magnets. but sorry if I slurred my words there too. But magnets for sure. So let's talk about Fear the Walking Dead season 6, episode 8. Let's get into the spoiler warning. So I have to talk about some spoiler stuff. So if you haven't seen the episode on there too, I'm going to be putting, I know it's probably going to be like I did my review before I got him in the live stream, and I really emphasized the spoiler warning. And I apologize for the people who know there, but I was like, spoiler warning, you get it? Spoiler warning. I don't want to ruin anything, spoiler warning too. So Negan 1 says, I got the first edition I'm Negan magnet. Yes, he did. Negan 1 was actually one of my first sales, and I think it's a pretty cool thing. I like the idea of it. I'm thinking about doing like an I'm Negan, either like paint it all black around the letters and have the red letters and then black all around it. So I was thinking about doing something like that, try a couple of different things out, see what people like. So customs can be kind of made a little bit, but it's got to kind of fit on the wood that size, so it's not too big for it too. So, let me see if you got any other questions for that. But so the spoiler warning, my review stuff's going to be out, next later tonight. My clickbait style Rick Grimes returns video will be out on Monday. And yeah, and then I got to work on some different things. I'm going to talk about Leah. Going to talk about the army base stuff that we saw too. So they'll probably go there in season 11. So Fear the Walking Dead season 6, right? And I'm just looking at the video now. It's like so delayed. It's like it's showing different things as I'm talking. So hopefully it's matching up okay. I don't know too. So Mark says, shout out to Lindsay for being a great mod. Thank you for your hard work. Yes, shout out to Lindsay and all the mods and all the subscribers and all the members and all the patrons. But Lindsay does a great job. I'm not singling out Lindsay, but she's made the Discord. Hopefully you guys are a member of that. I was on Discord last Sunday talking about Here's Negan. Hopefully I know some of you guys were there, like Darth Xenon, Lindsay, and a couple other people were in there. And it was always cool to see you guys pop up when you answered some of the questions and the interaction with it. I don't know if I'll do those when The Walking Dead returns in August or what, but it's pretty cool too. So we got Fear the Walking Dead. Let's talk about it. Season 6, episode 8. We see Morgan. Well, it starts with John, and the opening is an homage to Rick on the bridge, season 9, episode 5, and John Dory does a similar thing. But John Dory's at his cabin, and he's not doing so well. He's thinking about taking himself out. And he's cleaning his gun. He's watching a gangster movie in his cabin. And he puts some bullets in his gun, and then he kills a walker because there's no door on his cabin. And the episode's called The Door. So he shoots the walker and then cleans the gun or whatever, just messing with the gun, and then thinks about, taking himself out. But then a walker keeps coming. And every time he tries to take himself out, a walker keeps coming. He figures out, what's going on here? He also has the Scrabble tiles, and he writes "Goodbye June" in the tiles. So that's his goodbye note to June, which is kind of terrible, right? You kill yourself, and your wife's still alive, and I don't know. It's just not good for June because, I don't know why John is just gone from there to that, but he is. So he gets in his canoe. He goes by the bridge, sees all these walkers on the bridge, and he knows that they're evidently falling off the bridge, going down the river, and ends up at his cabin, and that's the walkers he's been killing. Goes to the bait and beer general store, sees a bunch of walkers by the front door. I think he fires 7 shots with his one gun, which is impossible because it's a 6-shooter, I believe. He kills the walkers easily, and then one comes from the side and boom, kills that walker. Goes inside the general store, meets Dakota, which is nice foreshadowing. Sees Morgan, who's all bandaged up, not doing too well. John sees him for the first time. It's a nice moment. John and Morgan talk. And then the ranger that was sent out by Virginia to find John goes into the store. They hide, close the door. The guy looks around a little bit, sees on the wall the movie checkout rentals thing, and knows that John Dory is in the area or has been in the area and knows there too. So Brandon says, "What up? Huge fan. Love the channel." Thank you, Brandon. I appreciate that. And that's always good to hear. Appreciate the love and the support. So the ranger tries to call Virginia, doesn't get service, leaves. They go away too. So yeah, definitely look at, if you guys are interested in the Discord, definitely check out with Lindsay there too. We're trying to do stuff down the road for the Discord. Pretty fun stuff. So John, Dakota, and Morgan leave. They go to John's cabin. They have some fish. They talk about it. Morgan, he's got like a bandage on his wound in his chest. He broke open when he set the walkers, and basically it was Alicia, Charlie, Dakota, and Morgan. They were together walking. They got split up, and then Alicia and Charlie end up going to Morgan's sanctuary. They meet Dwight and Althea, and so they're safe. They go there, but John meets Dakota and Morgan, and there they go in the tackle place because Morgan is broke up his wound again. We find out later on who actually patched Morgan up, and it's kind of a big deal. So Morgan is trying to get John to go back with them, and they don't. John doesn't want to go. He wants to stay at the cabin. He wants to kill himself, but he knows it's definitely something that he wants to leave. But Morgan is trying to save John to take him back. They say, "Take my truck." When they're trying to fill up the truck to go, the ranger comes, shoots up the truck, breaks the truck. Hog ties, calf ropes. I don't know how you want to say it. I'm not a cowboy. I don't know. But drags Morgan away. John fires a shot from his pistol, misses, grabs the rifle, takes the guy out, ends up burying him. And then they got to fix the truck. Dakota and John, they talk about things. They get the different parts for it. And so it's a nice moment. And Dakota asks John, why do we need the door for if you're going to come back with us? And Morgan comes in, he says, because he's not coming with us, and finds the Scrabble tiles, puts it down. John, tells them the door is not for keeping people out. It's like, it's symbolism all over the place with the door. And, it's definitely something that John, if he wanted to take himself out, he could do it multiple ways. But he needs a reason to stay alive and a reason to live. And maybe it's helping going with Morgan and Dakota and going with the future. And also his wife would be nice too, but, So I see Kawaii Cutie says, what do you think about Hans Christopher's character Nichols on IMDb? Do you think it's Rick's brother from the comics? I know when they say, IMDb is not the most reliable source for sure, but I saw something about him going for being on the show. I don't know if we're ever going to see Rick's brother. I don't know if it fits. It just would seem like it'd be out of left field. I mean, it would connect with the one comic, the Alien, but I don't know. So I don't know. I think he's just going to be a member of the Commonwealth personally. So we'll see what happens with the future of The Walking Dead. But John, Dakota, and Morgan, they fix up the truck. They use the doors, and they put them on the front of the truck. They go back to the bridge, and instead of, the walkers are contained by traffic signs and things. They're not going anywhere. So you could just stab through the plastic slits and just kill the walkers one by one. John doesn't have a knife ever, which is kind of ridiculous in a zombie apocalypse. But he's got 2 guns and he's a gunslinger, so he's pretty good. But Morgan's got his, I don't know if Lincoln's in here, but he said a halberd is what it's called. And I looked it up, and it's kind of like a modified halberd, but it's like his axe, bow staff together combination. But he could just stab all the walkers through that. It would take time, but you could do that. John is not, injured, so he could take his time. Morgan could do that, and clearly Dakota has a knife that we'll find out later, because if you remember, the knife handle that was used to kill, or the knife that was used to kill Cameron, that comes back up, and spoiler, Dakota is the one that has the knife. So she killed Cameron. But either way, the walkers are let out by Morgan. He unties the thing. He runs back to the truck. Dakota's driving through the things instead of trying to just kill the walkers one by one. The walkers jam up the tires. The truck breaks down. They're killing the walkers around them. They're smacking with the gun. They're shooting them. They're doing that. John has to walk over the top of the car, of the truck, onto the hood, into where the fencing and the doors are. So it's a little kind of triangle thing there too. So the walker actually almost gets him, which is kind of dumb. But before that, John gives Dakota his gun, or lets him borrow her gun, or his gun. And so while the walker is there's a big hole in the hood magically, perfectly. Dakota fires through the glass, kills the walker. John looks at her, and the bullet hole is actually on John. So you're like, okay, that's, after knowing what happens, it's kind of foreshadowing. They kill all the walkers. It's real dramatic. They do all that. Dakota freaks out. The tires, get traction again, crashes into the side, breaks the fence. They kill the walkers, and they're talking about it. John still doesn't want to go back with Morgan, but Morgan decides to tell Ginny about John's area, cabin, store, so then John has to go with Morgan. John freaks out and says, it wasn't your job to do that. It wasn't your right to do that. Morgan's trying to save John. So Morgan kind of leaves to go back to meet with Virginia. Dakota and John are on the bridge still, on the street. They have to go look around and find this red clip. The red object theory, it definitely fits this episode for sure. There's red stuff all over the place. Definitely look for it. It's there. I know people still don't agree with it. They'll never buy into the theory, but it's clearly there. The red object theory, the red lanterns, the red rag, the red Jeep, the red stuff that's blocking the walkers, the red sandbags. It's just so much red in this trailer, or in this episode. It's crazy. So it's just clearly there for it. So they're looking for the red clip. John kills a walker with his gun. Again, he doesn't have a knife. Dakota is walking through it. A walker wakes up playing possum, grabs her leg. She falls down, can't get her gun. She stabs the walker. There's the knife with the broken ivory handle. John figures out that she's the one that killed Cameron. Dakota basically says that she killed Cameron because Cameron found out that Dakota was leaving. She told Virginia she killed Cameron to kind of keep going, that she can get away. So it's one of those things where, okay, I see why she killed Cameron, but she kind of seems okay with it, but not okay with it. She's kind of upset. But she's pointing John's gun at John now. And John's like, okay, hey, look, I don't want to do this. It's good. I don't want to say anything. I'll help you out. Trust me. I have a reason to live. Maybe that's to help you. She says, no, you're not going to help me. Boom, and just fires. You're like, whoa. It's like out of nowhere because like, she ain't going to kill John. Come on, ain't going to happen. No way. John Dory is the man. He's our Rick Grimes on Fear the Walking Dead. It's not going to happen. What's up, Christian? So Brandon says, red is dead. That's right, red shirts. I love the idea when somebody said the red shirts on Star Trek. Yeah, red objects. Red Dead Redemption, right? So John is shot in the chest. Dakota just shot him in the chest. And I'm like, my wife was just like, she like screamed. Like, oh my God, when she watched that part. I was like, And I just can't believe it, right? So then you think about it. Okay, is he going to live? Morgan was shot in the chest, but he lived. But John, what's going to happen there? Dakota says something like, it's not that easy, John, or whatever, puts her hand on his chest and pushes him. Boom, falls into the river, drops the picture that Morgan found of John and his dad. John picks it up, floats up to the top or swims up to the top, goes onto the door, floats down the river on the door. Remember, the episode's called The Door. Dakota is pointing her gun at John as he floats down the river. Morgan comes around like, what? What happened? Where's John? What did you do? She sees the knife, figures out that she killed Cameron. Morgan is standing there with his axe. It's just easier to say axe. So she's pointing the gun at him. She's like, you ain't going to do nothing to me. And Morgan's like, I wouldn't be so, and he smacks the gun and grabs and points his axe blade at her throat. I wouldn't be so sure about that. And she's like, and then her sadness flips 180, flips a switch, right? And was like, boom, you ain't going to kill me. I saved you. The only reason you're alive is because of me. And Morgan's like, those are lies. What are you talking about? So then she confesses and says that she saved him with the antibiotics, did this, killed the walkers that were about to bite him. She followed them into the gulch because she wanted to see Virginia go down. But find out that Dakota is the one that saved Morgan. People laughed at me when I said that was an option, and anybody that said it was an option, right? So you're like, evidently she did, because people were hoping that it was Madison that saved him, and there's no connection to Madison in this episode. So Morgan figures out there, Brandon says, ask you a question. So Morgan figures out that Dakota is the one that saved him. She's basically saying the only reason you're alive is because of me. Your job is to kill my sister. You need to do that. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be alive. So that's your job. You need to do that. So she kind of feels like, I kept you alive. You got to do what I say. She says, you got to take me to the settlement like it was planned, all that stuff. Then we don't see what happens with them because Morgan gets on the radio, says something to Ginny because Ginny's at the cabin now with June and her Rangers. Morgan contacts Jenny and says, because Jenny's like, you're late. You're not here. She says, well, it's John. John's down the river. It was your sister. June's right there with her. Says, what happened? Send people out. So Virginia sends out her Rangers. So it's Virginia and June in the cabin. They're waiting, impatiently waiting. He didn't hear any answers, so June's freaking out, as you would, right? So she pulls down the blinds. She's there, this. You need to call them again. And Virginia's like, I already did. Like, she doesn't care. She can care less about Virginia. Or John. Virginia could care less about John. So then June grabs the walkie-talkie, and she looks around and she sees this body float up, just like the previous walkers that were there from the stream or the river, and she sees John laying there face down on the door that he was floating on the little sand beach area there. She grabs her med kit. That's red, by the way. She runs out, grabs to the water. John, and he's got his head down. And he's kind of like moving. So he's like, is he alive? And then he looks up and he's a walker. And it's just like, it's just like a gut punch, right? One of my favorite characters. And it's like, boom, oh man, he's dead. He's a walker. So June puts him down. It's very sad and dramatic. And that's the end of the episode. So we don't see what happened with Morgan and Dakota, June and Virginia. But John was killed off. So I'm interested to see what happens with John. Why was he killed off? Garrett Dillahunt, did he want off the show? Can't wait to see what happens on Talking Dead. There's been a lot of people talking and rumors, speculation. I don't know if they're saying it as confirmed or if it's, hearsay and rumors that Garrett Dillahunt wanted off the show because his dad was sick or recently died. And was he going to do other projects, or movies? I don't know. So either way, he's killed off. It sucks. When I first watched it and made the video about it, I was like upset about it because I watched it. Now it's been a week. I kind of like went through the grieving process. I'm still going to watch Fear the Walking Dead. I don't think they ruined the show because of it, but I do think that it does hurt the show. I don't think Dakota and Virginia are going to live very long because we have the end is the beginning people and the guy with the beard that was talking to Alicia. And usually we don't have two sets of things on there too. We don't have the wolves and the saviors and the whisperers. And we don't, it just doesn't, we don't have those things, right? Too. So that Jenny and Virginia's people are going to leave and the end is the beginning people are going to be the next thing. So we'll have to see what happens with Dakota. If June kills Virginia and kills Dakota, if Morgan takes out Dakota, something's got to happen, right? We got to have. I don't want her to join the group like Charlie, and it just feels like it's a Charlie Nick death again. Even though there's more context behind it, it's better acting. It just makes more sense that it happened for her to protect herself. But I don't know too. So Eddie G says, even as a walker, it seems like John was struggling to not attack. That's a great point. He kind of was like slow and going and he's kind of reaching for, and it's not really like a threatening manner. It's kind of like, I'm a walker, but I don't want to hurt nobody anymore because I'm not built for this world. And it's just, it just feels like, I totally feel you on that too. I saw the same kind of thing, Eddie G. Thank you again for the super chat. You're going above and beyond. You're being amazing, Eddie. But so I don't know what's going to happen with it. I was heartbroken with it, and it's a big, sad moment, but it's an impactful death, and that's what you kind of want to see on shows, even though it kind of is sad. And I don't want John Dory to go, but I do like Garrett Dillahunt. And, I talked about this many live streams ago. My wife and I are still watching Raising Hope on Hulu. It's a Fox show that's on Hulu. And he's hilarious on that show. Garrett Dillahunt. I watched him on Gifted. It's called The Gifted on Fox. And he's a great actor. He does the comedy stuff really well. And he's really good. I'm excited to see him in Army of the Dead. That was directed and written and I think produced and probably everything by Zack Snyder. But it's called Army of the Dead, and he's in that with Batista and a couple other people. And it's about walkers or zombies in Las Vegas. It's called Army of the Dead. So, it's a tough episode. And it's like the biggest death since, Nick and Madison in season 4. So that was 2 seasons ago. And who have we really lost since season 4, episode 8? I mean, the Vultures, Jimbo's Beerbos. No, not nobody really right there. I mean, it's a huge death. It's way too similar, like Nick's death. But of all the people to kill, you kill a fan favorite, John Dory. And that's why I kind of brought the question up that did they ruin the show again? I don't think so, but they didn't help it. They didn't help it by this happening there too. So let me see. I see BJ Logan. I scrolled up a little bit. I don't see your question. If you ask one, if you ask it again, I will definitely answer it. And I apologize. I just didn't see it. So see. I'm scrolling a little bit. I don't see it there too. But Morgan Lenny James recently said that the best episode of the Walking Dead universe is coming up on Fear the Walking Dead. That's all the Walking Dead. Walking Dead World Beyond, Fear the Walking Dead, Walking Dead. He says one of the best or the best episode is coming up. So that's a lot of hype. That's a lot of selling. So we'll have to see what happens, and maybe it's a big epic battle. Virginia's group goes down. We meet the end as the beginning people. Like when we met Virginia, she took out the previous bad. My other question is to you guys, is where are the kids at? Right? Where's Wendell at? We saw Wendell for like 5 seconds. We haven't seen the kids since they were introduced. We saw Grace for a little bit. And I know they're having another lineup, but it looks like everybody in the lineup, which is Sarah, Grace, Daniel, Luciana, and there might be one other person. I think they all live. So there's really nobody dying in the Jenny lineup. So I got to make the joke of Johnny Walker. We're going to see a Johnny Walker in this episode, which sucks. And it's a shame. But let me see. Xmas Girl 304 says, Q&A, do you think June will seek justice for John? I do, and I would, and who could blame her, right? I just know, yeah, Ashley said the same thing. What I want to know is, where are these H-ing kids? H-E double hockey sticks kids. That's true, right? Where are they? Hello asks, where's Skidmark? Another great point. So that's the other kind of problem I have. That's one of the probably biggest problems I have with Fear the Walking Dead is they bring all these characters in and then they don't connect the dots with them. They're just like filler, right? How about Proctor John? How about Tobias? How about Walker and Crazy Dog? How about the girl who had the pickaxe in season 3? Never saw her again. How about certain characters we never see again, right? I know they got to be somewhere, but where is Skidmark? We need a Skidmark dog reunion. BJ Logan 007, here you go. Q&A, I think the end is the beginning guy with Alicia is John's father. John said he disappeared. I don't know if it's the show making it seem like that or if I'm reaching. What do you think? No, you're not reaching. I mean, that's a good theory. It's definitely something that it could fit. I don't think so personally. I think that guy is the 2-bit mortician that his father put away. But because you see a picture of the guy in the photo with John, he doesn't really, I mean, I know it's an older photo and it's grainy, it's crappy, and it's folded and it's cracking, whatever. It's not the best. But I just don't see that being the thing. I just think it would be the 2-bit mortician, or it's something totally new for the show, and that's kind of what they do. They bring in new people all the time and don't really connect the dots too well with it. Marcel Q&A, do you think a big character death is coming up soon? If yes, whose? Oh, well, I mean, the biggest death is John. I mean, that just happened in 608, so I don't see them happening again. If you saw the potential spoilers, the filming stuff for the season 6 finale, you know that Luciano was there, Wes was there, you know Morgan's going to be safe. You know that a lot of these characters are going to live now, right? So we lost Nick and Madison in the first half of season 4, even though some people think Madison's coming back. Maybe she is, maybe she will. I don't think so, but if she was confirmed on Talking Dead, come on, right? Just like tonight, if we have In Memoriam and John Dory's on there, it's kind of connected with the show. So season 4, episode 8, we waited 2 seasons, basically to the episode, 2 seasons, 608, that a major character got killed off. Ever since Madison went away, we've only gained characters, right? We've lost Jimbo and whatever. I mean, nobody really has significance, right? I mean, if we lost anybody else, who would be significant? Morgan? No way that happens, right? Dwight? Just don't see that happening. Sherry? That would be lost because what has she been doing all this time to survive then die? Alicia, doesn't make sense to get killed off. Luciana, not that impactful. Sarah, not that, I like Sarah, but not that impactful. Wendell, not that impactful. The kids, not that impactful. Grace, does she have the baby and then die? Does she live? Does she survive? Does John Dory live on as Morgan? It's not Morgan's son or daughter, or the child is there, but Morgan and Grace probably get together, raise the child. Do they name it John? Do they name it Dwayne? Do they name it John Dwayne Jones? I don't know. Where are they going to name this kid, right? I mean, is it going to be a girl? I mean, we're just not sure, too. So, great. Jeannie says, would that make the blood in the water Johnny Walker red? Hey, bazinga, right? But Christian asks, how do you think Fear the Walking Dead will end, PT? Man, I'd have no clue because we're getting a season 7, right? Which I'm not sure when it's going to air. They should start filming pretty soon. I don't know if it's going to be the end of the year, next summer. Does it connect with Does it connect with The Walking Dead season 11 at the end? Does it connect with the Carol and Daryl spinoff? Does Morgan connect with the group? You know, I just don't know. I have no idea what they're going to do now. Does it have its own ending? Does everybody die? That would be kind of morbid and terrible. But I really don't know. I mean, the big thing I would think is that they all connect. They all fight the Civic Republic. Commonwealth, Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, World Beyond, they all fight the Civic Republic. Maybe it's the Reapers and the Civic Republic versus the Commonwealth, all of our groups together. I don't know, right? I mean, I want to see a big epic battle, and I would love for all the shows to come together. Again, I just don't know if that's going to be what we had too. So let me see. Oh, it just jumped on me there. Laura says, Garrett Dillahunt addresses the whole him grabbing her hand thing on Talking Dead. So thank you, Laura. I'm excited to see. Hopefully it answers why he got killed off too. Was it a writer's decision? Was it Sean's decision? So, but thank you guys. I'm going to cut it early because my wife just got home from the store and it's raining out. So I want to help her outside with some of the stuff she got too. So Diana says, is Morgan the daddy with Grace? I don't think so. I don't think they got together. She was kind of sick in there, so she was pregnant before she met Morgan. So I think that she was pregnant before she met Morgan. So I don't think they got together. But I think, it's kind of like Shane Rick, who's the father raising the child. Doesn't really matter who's the biological father, just who raises the child, right? But thank you guys. I'm going to cut it there. Thank you, Eddie G, for all the super chats. You are the man. I appreciate it. Again, you don't have to do that by any means, but it goes, it really helps out things, and it really made my day. It's been a rough day, and hopefully the rest picks up. I got to go make some calls to some things and handle some stuff. So thank you guys. I truly appreciate it. Remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. I'll have my review tonight. The Rick Grimes video tomorrow. Talking Dead, I want to watch either tonight or tomorrow to talk about it in an upcoming episode. Thank you guys. Be safe. I'll be back next Sunday for the live streams.